Hello everybody, today I'm at Lytham Hall in Lytham, and this hall, like Chatsworth House on my other video, was one electromagnetic house, which, looking at the true history of these places, were farms of the old world. Now I'm going to give you a tour around this place and show you what all of the things were really in this house, and you're going to find this really interesting. It's very similar to Chatsworth House, and if you look through that video first, I'd recommend you to do that. Then you'll have a better understanding when I give you a proper tour of what this place really was. So the first thing we come to is this horseshoe magnet gate at the front of the house, or the hall. Now the driveway is about a mile and a half long, and it actually goes to the back of the house. So I don't see much reason why they put a gate going to the back of the house. If there was a gate, it should really be at the front. And so these have got the indentations I keep showing you on the videos of my old world. The same indentations and cavities at the top. Got symbolism at the top as well there. But this is a horseshoe magnet. These are all over the world, all over the realm. Because it's an electromagnetic world, and electromagnetism was used in these halls, on buildings all across the world. So this is the long drive leading up to Lytham Hall, sorry, I keep saying house. It was about a mile and a half long. So this house, said house again, was built in, we're told, 1764, and it's a grade 1 listed building now. So knowing myself, knowing my channel, you know what I talk about, the narrative's always off. We can't guarantee that this house was built at that time. And as you know, everything is a lie regarding the old world, because like I said, there's a great reset, and structures were, all of the type of structures in the old world were built at similar times. There weren't massive gap differences between them, and it's a big hoax regarding when they were really built. And they were all built, the electromagnetic grid was built by one unified civilization. See, now coming up to the front of the house, we see all the little cavities across it, just as we did on the horseshoe magnet at the front. And if we zoom in here, it's a symbol of the toroidal coil, the toroidal vortex there when it comes to the electromagnetic world. Grade 1 listed, red brick structure. So I'm stood on the field opposite the front entrance to the house, and I'll show you after, but there's a fountain that goes all the way, it's over there, you'll be able to see it from now. There's a pond behind that. Now, knowing places like Chatsworth and knowing these stately homes, they were surrounded by water, because water was heavily used in the electromagnetic grid. It could be used to fuse electromagnetic energy and had all sorts of importance when it came to the electromagnetic grid. So the water would have been originally flowing through here and leading up to the front of the structure like it did at Chatsworth. So this would have been a lake too. So this is that statue, there's a statue in front of that pond, is directly in line with this, and they knew all about lines and energy and ley lines, all of that. They knew all about it, and they did everything to perfect symmetrical proportions, and they knew exactly what they were doing, and I'll show you closer over there after. Okay, so the narrative says that this was the dovecote, where they kept pigeons and doves flying in and out of that octagonal cupola at the top. That is hilarious. I've said that before, I laugh at stuff like that, because this was the engine. It has 8 sides, and the octagon, like I've said many times, was important in the old world. They created a vortex spinning around at the top in that cupola with the conductor orb at the top. Now it's heavily been renovated, this actually, because they've put wood instead of the original metal that would have been there. But the rest of the red brick structure is intact, and it's got the 8 sides. They always lock the door as well. I've been trying to get in, and there's just this stupid little padlock on it. I just want to go inside and see inside. They never allow you to go inside. There's always guided tours up, or open days when you can get tours around by a guide, and they forget to, well, they purposely eradicate the truth and guide you up. I want to go inside myself and see the truth. So here I'm at the Lily Pond. So this is a body of water directly in line with the front of the house. And here we have the statue. This is the old world statue, the original statue. If we see here, I'm not sure who it is exactly, but she is directly in line with the front of the house where there would have been running water all the way through here and likely leading up to the pond itself. Possibly going around this. I'm not sure how it would have been fitted to that pond. Maybe there was two bodies of water, but there was definitely water along here going up to the house. It's a lovely place though, lovely trees now, wooded areas. And the fountain's going as well. Here at the end of the pond, we have all these rocks here. Well, then we have this here, which is being restored now. So there was a red brick structure here, and it looks like they're rebuilding it as to how they would want us to believe it was, which was like a boathouse or something, to keep boats. There was another red brick structure here originally, because I came here once before, and it was different. It was different brickwork than this. So this is all being restored, and they're restoring it exactly how they want the narrative to look. Now there was a red brick structure before that had a different function. We don't know what it was, and like they all are, they demolished them. So this was likely of importance regarding the hall. I don't know what it was, I couldn't say, and it's lost forever because now they're restoring it. So we'll never know. These are the old bricks that were originally there, now covered in moss. Now they're replacing it with the new ones. This is bamboo here, and there was a story that was told about Chinese bamboo. Now this is a very important life lesson for us all. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to face the camera to face myself. So the Chinese bamboo, in the first year of growth, it does nothing. In the second year of growth, it does nothing. In the third year of growth, it doesn't grow an inch. But in the fourth year, it grows 60 feet. Now the lesson here is, what was it doing in those first 3 years? It was developing a strong root system. And as humans, when we develop a strong root system, we can also grow 60 feet tall. Next to the pond here, there's again all these rocks scattered around. These are the old original rocks that were here. I really want to go back in time to these places and really see what was going on. They were not stately homes. Please look through my Chatsworth videos and you'll see this is just a smaller version of what that was. This would have known the truth of the place. There's also a water system, like a stream, not really stream, but like kind of like a moat that goes all the way around the grounds. So again, it's waters of input, you know, it's in abundance here, just like at Chatsworth. It's always the little subtle things I love to find. See, at the side of the stream, there's like a tunnel, red brick, there's some red bricks on the outside there. It's a tunnel that goes underneath. And again, in the side of the woods there is that ditch that would have been filled with water. So it's like this electromagnetic grid was one huge water network. And just keep your eyes peeled on your journeys and see what you can find. And here at the other side, there's another statue. The ditch is there filled with water. And I would say that again, there'll be water going right up to the house, exactly like at Chatsworth House. Because these were all the same function. They were all huge farms, they were all huge electromagnetic places. So all of the things would have been working in the same way. It is an ancient oak there. So I'd say that the water would have been running right in between this line and that tree line there, that forest. So the woods would have still been at either side, and he would have had the water running here. Perhaps not all of the wood, because a lot of the trees are new as well, the woodland wouldn't have been this big, I don't think, because again, these were farms. Again, at Chatsworth, they had big plans where they used to grow all the crops. So it would have been a similar here. Actually, looking back at my previous pictures at Chatsworth House, I'd even forgot the statues were in the water. So that statue would have likely, as well as the other statue, been in the water. It's exactly the same as here, where the grass was, the big Emperor Lake at Chatsworth was in line with the house with the statues there. It's exactly the same. And again, at this side, this would have had water because this is directly in line with this side of the house. So this is the third side. There would have been another side of the other, maybe the fourth. But again, the statues in the middle. It looks like a woman holding a ram or something like this. But we've got the cups as well, which Chatsworth had. So these very similar, again, in every situation to Chatsworth. He's like a mini Chatsworth. So this statue was originally there, it even says on the plaque. They finally give us a bit of the truth. 1760, Diana the Huntress. She's facing this way actually, so she's not actually facing towards the house, and the ram's facing down there. But again, I really think there was water. She might have been in the water, the Huntress here. So that's not a ram, sorry, that's a reindeer. Yeah, the ram is on the cups, but that's a reindeer without any arms. So now we are at the mount, which is a big hill here. So this is all flat, this area, and then there's this hill. So this apparently, according to the narrative here, was created from when you built the pond, when they dug out the pond at the back here, which I'm going to show you after, they used the soil to create this mound. So apparently it was an ice house, so they kept ice. Now remember this guy, if you look up his channel, Stu the Wanderer, he was talking about how that was a huge lie, because why would the old world want anything to do with ice? And to keep ice here, it's just a narrative which doesn't make sense at all. And I think he was on about that it was again to do with the mud flood, and then, you know, the mud flood created mounds like this. I'm sure he meant that, but I know for definite this was a false narrative. I need to do a bit more research into this, but it was definitely not an ice house like they say. It was either a mud flood or I'm sure he said that, but I do need to just do a bit more research onto it, because this is all level, and they would not create a mound like this. Look at it, just to keep ice. It makes no sense. So there's the other pond down there, Curtains Pond I think it's called. So this is the top of the so-called ice house. Keeping ice under the earth, as you do. So there's the view of Lytham Hall. Such a heavily transformed place. Completely ruined. Still lovely because of the woods and everything, but they've ruined what it was, as they do with everything. A mini Chatsworth, I'll call it. So they always seem to give a clue as to what the place really was. So here we have an allotment and a orchard at the back. So they always do that. They kind of just give the half-truths in between. So, as I said, it was a farm of the old world, using the electromagnetic energy to enhance the growth of all this produce and to run this place off electromagnetic energy whilst they were tending to the plants. It's all connection with nature. Christmas trees for sale, I think, here. The sound of water is still available here at Lytham Hall, like it used to be. A statue, look, a mini garden centre. Okay everybody, so the sea in Lytham is just at the other side of these dune type of things here, and my interpretation of this area is that the dunes, this area has been pushed up by some sort of mud flood here and buried this structure underneath the ground, because here it just looks like a roof and the rest of the structure is non-existent. So this looks like the top of the structure when the rest is lightly underneath the ground. Could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. So I always like coming across these things because it makes you think, is the rest of the structure underneath the ground? What do you think, everybody? Just in the centre of Lytham here, we come across another one of these structures that I've been seeing in Chester and in Preston, and they're everywhere across the world. It's the symbol of the toroidal coil. There's Lowland cavities across the top, and it is a really good example again for showing that symbol, the toroidal coil, on the columns.